And we're live. We're live. It's taken a lot of effort to get here. And I was like, should I take a few more minutes to get myself together, check the colors are okay a bit more. Double check that the microphone is this microphone and not the computer microphone. Get my hat. Don't have a hat. Oh no. I'm gonna have to go terrible hairdo on this live stream. None there. Well, you can see the mess in my flat that's blocking the toilet at the moment. Yeah, I'm at a loss, no hat. I look terrible. I sort of need to make this live stream for my life because where I am, I'm finding a place of not being in control or not knowing what the perfect expression is to the present moment. It took place about, I don't know, my memory is not able to remember at the moment, but I'm guessing about a couple of weeks ago when it just got so bad and severe, I wasn't able to emotionally experience life anymore. The emotions died. They got too much, and I've been on life support, operational functioning mode ever since. And things are really terrible for me as an experience. That's when I say they're bad. For me, as a personal label at the moment, it is terrible. But I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. What it looks like from the outside is just someone living their life with a serious mental health disorder and a bit depressed at the moment. And that's how it looks. But I've been keeping it together for about 3 or 4 years now. My experience of life before that gets added on top of that 4 years of just keeping it together now. And I mean, my main gripe is I'm sitting in this chair and it's a fantastic chair, and I have lots of different pillows to really make it easy for me to sit down where I have difficulty. And with the pillows and the chair and the rotation and the spring, I can get some good therapy in with it. Find different positions to unlock parts of my body I didn't realize were locked in the first place. But my body sort of finds the position sitting in this chair. And the terrible thing at the moment is I'm not able to feel my body in any way. I'm not able to tune in with my body. I'm not able to connect with my body. It's like I'm sitting here and I know the way I'm sitting is incorrect, but I have no idea how it's incorrect. My normal sensory receptors that are within my body that tell me what's going on in the physical space around me aren't responding the way they normally do. And that's really terrifying when I find myself in this position in the first place. But I suspect I'd have to be in these depths. My brain isn't working to be able to make the assessment. At the moment, at the moment, um, it's my brain is in a really bad way. Um, and I'm I'm trying to bring it back to, is it the present moment for me? Is it the present moment for me? Not necessarily. So I said, on a mental level, I can't accept life anymore. The emotional pain of the situation is too severe within me, and that's the truth. But I have a mental health disorder, and well, that's been aggravated severely, severely, severely by my physical body. It's like the way I see mental health disorder is for myself. This is my life, and I'm a bit troubled with my mind, but I function fantastically still, and I don't need any doctors or help. That's me functioning positively with just quirks in my mind, like everybody does. But you add a failing body onto the situation and or a major emotional trauma, and your ability to maintain the positivity within life dissipates. And that energy is important for mind. You can run all the quirks in the world, and with the right positivity running, you'll balance them out into big, perfect, harmonious. It won't be totally harmonious, but if we could see all of the quirks in us just not having a label of a mental health disorder is amazing. And I require positivity, and I haven't been positive that way, not for any length of time. If it happened beyond a day or so, in about 16 years. And for that reason, I'm permanently locked in to my mental health. But I've assessed the situation. I know my mental health within the situation now, and I'm focused on my physical body. There's nothing I can do on an emotional level to get that positivity back. So I'm locked in. It's like that energy's been taken away from me. But it's just life. And for that reason, the way I was operating wasn't stable. It wasn't stable because I could get knocked off my perch at any second. Something big could happen. I'm not prepared for it. Um, and well, having got my mental health under control, I know my thoughts to my body, to my life. So in other words, I know how my thinking impacts my life. I'm constantly working on myself in therapy mode, both physically and mentally. And well, I feel like my mental health is in control if life gives me half a chance. So I'm working on my body, and about 6 months ago, it was like 2 weeks and I'm done. I've got my physical body and I'm winning. And 6 months later, it's a case of, well, if I'm lucky now, it's in 6 months again when I'm winning with my body. And I can see as my body as more and less energy, more and less pain, not more or less pain, but the more I'm in control of the pain and the less I'm in control of the pain. The more I'm in control of the pain, the more good food I put into my body, the good things I do to my body, the health things, the simple things. I know my body. I know when it's better. I know when it's worse. I know what's made it better and worse. So what I'm saying is with my body in a good time and my body not so in a good time. So I had it in a really good place. And over the past 6 months, it's fallen off the side of the planet. That's why I say I don't know what's going on in my body and I get frustrated that I'm not sitting correctly and my vision's all distorted. So it's a real challenge for anybody to just be positive. And no idea why I'm talking about this. No idea why I'm talking about this. My emotions, that's why. So that's what's happened. The pain on my physical body, the experience of my physical body has got too much now. And my mind is breaking in terms of creative solutions to the situation. And what it knows is in the immediate, there are no options, there are no solutions. This has been the way for a couple of weeks now. And I know to accept that now. I've lived life and I know that burning my boat down, going big, I've done that. I don't need to do that again. It didn't bear fruit last time in the media. Either way, I'm not going to do something like that again. I lost my home and I wouldn't say I really regret it. I needed to do that. I understand why I did it and therefore I don't regret it. But I was asking questions of life. How can you find me in this position? Such a terrible position with all these different elements going on. No, this isn't normal. This isn't correct. Everything I understand. What am I going to do? I've asked people, I've spoken to people, and I get nowhere that way. So I need to ask life a question. I asked life a question by burning my boat down. What the hell is going on? I said. And the situation now has got to that limit, got to that same place for me. And I know, as much as I don't regret it, I had something amazing there if I could have held on to it. And I live in a 2.5 by 2.5 square meter box at the moment. That's terrible. The quality of life of living on a boat as well. You're a little bit active living on a boat. We have to do stuff, go through locks, we have to move, we have to think about engines, so we often look and smell like mechanics. We have to think about water, sunlight, for electricity, where we're going to moor, where we're going to park. Food, um, water, we said, emptying the toilet, rubbish. All of those things just make life a bit more survival level, just the correct level of survival that my body can just relax to. because this is unreal, man. This life is unreal. Going to the shops to go and forage for food, to hunt. I desperately need grass just like 15 seconds outside my door at the moment in my life. I don't need it all the time. I mean, it's not the worst thing to have in my life all the time. I would trade luxuries most people would think I'm insane for to have grass just a few seconds outside my door. And on a boat, I can go and choose grass. I can go and choose fields. I can go and choose forests. I can go and choose water near the Thames. I could choose inner city. I can choose West London, East London, out of London holiday, the other side of the country. I can go to Scotland and have my boat lowered on a lift for free, just to experience that. Your home. I mean, it would take me months to do, but why don't I got set off in my own home? So I love a boat life, and that's not here, but I don't regret it. And well, that's just to really say I know, despite everything, not to do it again. I threw all of that in the bin. My body too. My body has been ill since around that time. Um, so it's a huge learning lesson for me. But I feel I needed to do that. I'm a very passionate person. I know that of myself. I probably come from one of the most passionate countries in the world. According to statistics, Facebook statistics say I come from one of the most passionate countries in the world. But that's me. I'd also have loved to have grown up in the snow, possibly as an Eskimo. Possibly as an Eskimo. I could do Eskimo. I could do Eskimo. Definitely Alaska. Definitely indigenous tribes that live in the cold. Possibly not Russia. Not Western civilization in the cold, unless we're going to America and you've got everything there on your doorstep and you've got the cold. I could definitely do that. Or the mountains, any mountain, I can do that. But I'm passionate. I don't know the stillness of character that the cold builds a child growing up in it. See, I look at it like survival. Um, I used to watch a program on TV of Alaska, and they had all the homesteads, and you had to go and forage for wood, and it was like a boat life, and I really connected to it, and I really liked the cold. I got into Wim Hof therapy, and he basically said the cold activates your autonomic nervous system. There's lots to it, but from that moment, I fell in love with the cold, and I've got another connection to the cold with energy. I'll tell the story one day of that one, not today. But I love the cold. And I know my body loves the cold. I know my body loves the cold, but I'm passionate. And the country that I come from is hot. And I live in a country that's quite damp. That's how the Chinese say the climate affects the human body. That's how the human body receives the climate. In the UK, damp. That's our weather, guys. Damp. Our 2 weeks, summer sunshine, rain. And we didn't really have much of a winter this year. No snow. No snow this year. Um, our weather's got the label of damp. It's not hot. It's not cold. It's not rainy. Ireland trumps us on that one. It's damp. We hold the label of damp. Wear it loud and proud. Yep. Hello, world. I'm from the UK. I know. I know. We have damp weather. Uh-huh. We're going to market it and sell it to the whole world. They're going to come to the UK. Oh my God. I bought all these clothes just so I could experience this damp weather. Damp weather. Well, why don't we do a different thing? Why don't we do a different thing? Instead of selling the UK and England, I suppose, England, Wales, Scotland, we think they have different tourism boards for some reason. So when England is sold to the world in terms of tourism, we could do it that way or we could do it another way. I think this way is better. And that is to say, well, what does damp weather want? What does damp weather want? And what do I mean by what does damp weather want? What I mean is, let's start from scratch. We bulldoze everything that's been built in the UK and it's just the rubble. And then we have to find a bit of land somewhere and start again. And whatever bit of land we find, guess what? That land has damp weather. And our mission with our £1 trillion to spend it, we've got to start from the perspective of everything has to be for the damp weather. Everything has to be for the damp weather. So in other words, if we're building a building, we build a building for damp weather. We build a community, we build a culture and a whole nation on perfection to damp weather. Damp weather. What do we do with damp weather? It's like we get all the seasons and it's never the same. You got your sun, you got your rain, you got snow most years, 1 or 2 days, you got your ice, you got your sleet, you got your overcast days a lot and grey skies in the big cities. Countryside is quite nice. Are we going to nice yet? Are we going to nice yet? I've lost my mind. I don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about accommodating for damp weather. And we're saying all of the bad things about damp weather. And we said the countryside, regardless, is quite nice with damp weather, regardless of the weather. It's like the grass with a bit of, is it hue? Dew. The grass with dew on top. That's perfect for damp weather, isn't it? So we've got to make the grass, the green grass, somehow sacred to us. Spending the £1 trillion is like green grass everywhere, but it's a weed. It's a weed. So the trees, do they say beauty? They say beauty in damp weather. The trees, nature does. So nature, the land in the UK actually says really, really well. I've already spent £1 trillion on making the perfect canvas for damp weather. But in terms of living, where would we live? So you don't want to get away from the damp. You want to become the damp, own the damp, embody the damp. So we're taking it back to body now. We're becoming damp energy, damp energy. And in this world at the moment, damp energy is a disease because we have to go to the Chinese doctor and they diagnose us and they say, yeah, you've got damp in you. I've had it done to me before. I love the Chinese doctor. They're fantastic. I hate the NHS and the general practitioners, but Chinese doctors, TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So, damp is no longer a disease. It's not a superpower, but it's what we are, it's what we wear. And when we get damp in this big city energy, this way of life, it's not, it doesn't work. And I know energy and I'm thinking of damp in my body, but I'm thinking of owning the damp, surrendering to the damp. It's like you've taken the damp to the very bone and you've got on with your life and you've lived more your life with damp to the bone than anything. And it's like, it doesn't matter if the sun comes out for 6 months straight, you're going to be in sun with those same bones. Those bones aren't going anywhere. So it's to take the damp to the very bones. That's hardcore. But in my energy, in my mind, when I think about the energy, the perfect energy for it is just to be in like a cave with a fire and it's raining outside and you don't care about the rain because all it doesn't matter, the cave's exposed, you've got shelter, you're you're not in the rain. Doesn't matter if there's humidity in there, you've got your fire and that's all you need. That's all we need. And we're just like there, but what do we do? What do we do? And there may be a problem because damp energy says your bones are walking at the pace of damp. So, in other words, we do not go fast. Nuh-uh. We do not go fast, but we we go for infinite. We go for infinite. We go for immortality. The whole world is sick. And we're going back to nature. And we're claiming our very country by claiming damp energy and getting our physical body to walk, talk, and live damp energy because we're doing everything in that direction and changing our entire lives around what it would take to embody damp energy. So it's like an impossibility because how am I going to get damp energy to my bones? How am I going to get damp energy to my bones? And I've given myself a challenge now. I'm not totally put off. I might be able to do it. So, this is the deal. It's early February, early February 2026, and I'm saying I'm so deep within my mental health. It looks like my mental health. It sounds like my mental health. It tastes like my mental health. It smells like my mental health. It feels like my mental health. It sounds like my mental health a different way inside and outside. I'm pooing and weeing like my mental health. Positive and negative like it's my mental health. Depression like. Depression not mental health. Because depression knows it's not my mental health. Depression knows it's my life. It's my life. And if I'm given half a chance to get on with my life and remedy my physical body, my mental health isn't a problem. So it's not the problem for my depression, but it's all my mental health at the moment. On the surface, we're going to go 100% on this one. We're going to go 100% on this one to try and explain it. Okay, I need a smoke. I need a smoke. Um, I need to put something, anything in my smoke selection here. Oh, hopefully this is CBG. CBG. I need to get some more. Aliens stole my last CBG ball. It disappeared from my flat overnight. I say aliens, but not necessarily aliens. It's just my life. I know that might not make sense, but I definitely had a small ball of CBG hashish disappear. That one really got me. A lot of things disappear. I'm aware of things disappearing and appearing. And the thing that really gets me is a small ball of hashish, CBG. Anyway, oh, and I think I hopefully I've lost the other one, the CBG. It's just different forms of cannabis that aren't as good, but are legal in the UK at the moment. It just tastes nice. That's the reason. Um, where were we? Yeah, I'm hugely depressed, but it's not my mental health. I'm depressed about. Uh, how long have we been rolling? Half an hour now. We've been rolling half an hour. So early February. I don't know the specific. 6th of February, 2026. And that's where this idiot is. Everything that's going on in his life is an experience of a severe, horrible, debilitating mental health disorder, whilst experiencing the same wording but physical health disorder. The truth is, it's not even a case of physical health disorder. It's a case of whatever's going on with my health um, is beyond my limits to what I know. That's the simple one. What's going on with my physical health is beyond the limits than what I know. But I keep fighting to keep my body going, and I keep a stable ship, as stable ship as possible. And I live life, and I live 4 seasons. And we're deep in winter now. If I can make it through to spring just somehow, I know without even doing anything else, things are going to get better. The thawing of the ice. I don't care about new plants, but we can see the grass again. I care about that. We can see the sky again. We can feel the sun again. I reckon I might need to keep going a few more months later than that. But what I'm saying is, with a little bit of time, even if we're not doing a thing in that direction. You'd be a brave soul to deny that nature has an effect upon the human body, and so do the changing of the seasons. I know I'm going to put in all the effort in the world. I know what I'm doing in the media, and that's where I'm looking at. That's where I'm looking at, not focused on, but looking at. My focus is somewhere else. What I'm getting at is with my mental health, my brain doesn't quite operate to what I understand most people's brains operate at. I have severe problems with memory, emotions appearing and disappearing, thoughts, speaking of voices, managing psychosis. And I'm capable to manage that. So I found myself as myself within my mental health, which is myself before, but we're saying now broken. So we go in our lives, then we have a experience, something happens, and we get a mental health disorder. And from that moment on, we're broken. For me, I have a time in my life when my mental health appeared. It appeared to me. I had mental health problems before within me, but then everything became mental health because I was sucked into life events and I was sucked into the emotion of the life event that overlapped my mental health appearing. I've never been able to go beyond what life plunged me in terms of close family bereavements and friend bereavements, all the while understanding how to manage my mental health. So everything began to look like this mental health, which was like a stress energy and a fundamental in my life. That's how I can describe it now. Fast track 16 years, and everything still looks like my mental health, but I am sitting within it, experiencing my mental health as my mental health. So my reality, my mind comes and goes, but I've learned to operate within that. And what happened a few weeks ago in terms of emotional inability to hold on to life, I don't know how to describe it. My emotions, I'm in that place where I should be burning my boat down. And I live emotions. If I feel that my life is terrible, I need to feel it. If my life is terrible, I need to know that. If my life is beautiful, it's helpful to know that. But I need to know it's terrible if it's terrible and beautiful. I need to know terrible before beautiful. And I wake up each day and it's like none of it makes sense anymore. The way my mental health has been coming together and telling me this is the present moment, Gabriel. Again, this is how you wake up today. This is how you feel and operate today. It's a bit like I don't have my mind here. I'm not in operational control of my thinking. I think my hearing, my vocal cords to my hearing, there's a problem at the moment, and I'm autistic. Um, I have trouble thinking in my head, so I often think aloud to myself. But at the moment, there's a severance there within my vocal cords to my hearing. And it's like I speak to myself, and I know I'm speaking to myself. I don't have any thoughts about a split personality disorder, but my experience is very much like more than one person. I know it's not. Not that there's more than one person here, but it's like, oh, the way I said that was like one person. The way I said that was like another person. The way I said that was like another person. I don't ever question, is there three people here? I always know it's just me here. But my voice says, oh, that's my voice. I'm listening to that. I'm listening to that. Oh, no, that's a different voice. That's a different voice. And my brain doesn't get the conversation because I'm in such a serious place. My brain needs to know absolutely of my seriousness and focus to the situation. And it's like the other voices are a bit piss takey to the situation, not helpful, not beneficial. So it's a bit like I've lost my mind. I know I'm not able to think to myself, but I continue to function. When I have to, I'll scream above whatever the voices are that, or disconnection is. If I scream loud enough, it tends to work, that I can hear that. It gets the message through. So if I need to do that, I can do that. And it's a bit like that, what just happened today, just before the live stream. It's like I can't breathe. I just need to be able to think, oh my God, not that anything else. I just need to be able to think clearly. And that's not possible at the moment. So, not being able to think clearly is a mental health disorder. Someone losing their mind? No. It's just extra clear that I'm not able to think clearly to myself at the moment. It's like that ability has just been taken away. So things are all over the place. But what I made a realization of during this live stream is that, well, I'm never going to get back to the positivity I once had. In everything that I've learned since, I'm never going back to that positivity and that extra space. So I can forget that and get on with life going forwards. And that's why I say I might as well just sit here and experience it all. I'm going forwards. I'm not going backwards. If I was going backwards, this is terrible. Just go and be extra positive, go and be like myself before, but that's not positive. That's not possible. I'm going forwards. And well, if I'm claiming myself as a whole being within this mental health disorder now and saying my experience isn't correct all of the time, well, that's important. And it's got so bad, it's got so bad. It could just be, I've summoned the energy now to say, whatever was me before, and whatever this trauma is in between, and however much I'm operating within my mind now, within that trauma still, I've summoned the energy to claim whole, the position of whole, which means in a trauma state, I think half our brain shuts down. Matrix NLP tapping, I think. When you get trauma, it's like your brain shuts down and goes into half a state in half an operational mode and flips back and forth until trauma is healed. I'm saying my trauma is never really going to be healed. So I'm in half operational mode. And one side is normally looked at as traumatized. And the other side is normally looked at as, uh, well, fully functional. So one side is problem, other side is fully functional. Now I'm saying I'm locked within trauma, within my mental health, but I've become fully functional. And in fact, this has become redundant to the situation. So it's almost reverse, but there's so much to take from my past. I'm not going to ever claim I am more than this now. We just equate. So trauma and whole brain equate. It means there's an opportunity now to release my mental health disorder, the trauma, and my brain can begin to balance. That's a possibility. And that's why how I feel and react and experience each and every day is a bit different now, that it doesn't quite make sense. It's like, I know I should be more angry than this. I know I should be more depressed than this. I know I should be in more pain than I am. I know I should be eating more than I do. I, there are just real obvious things that I can still function very well within life, knowing that these elements are all skewed and incorrect, and there's many more on top. So that's my experience. And well, I just said it. Hopefully, this terrible, horrible, catastrophic experience of my life is just a rebalancing between me overcoming trauma in terms of summoning more energy than my past, who I was before, and do some brain balancing. I need to get some acupuncture needles for my head. I don't know where I put my acupuncture needles. I'm hoping they're in the basket, the health basket. I've got a health basket. I've got two health baskets. I've got two health baskets and I've got two supplement baskets. I've also got a spare therapy parts box bowl, a whole box of a bowl box of spare therapy parts that I just don't need on my machines, and they go into the same box. That's how much health means to me. Oh, so 2026, that's where I am. February 6th, 2026. 26. And I'm saying I might be able to create a way to get used to the damp really, really easy. Really, really easy. Just need to put something addictive in it. That's exactly what we need. We need to be addicted to the damp. That's exactly what it needs to feel like, but a very clear, very respectful relationship. But in the media, it's gonna feel like Oh my God, I just need more damp. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? Oh no, not the goddamn sun again. Yeah, I'm going to go to the park and sunbathe, but I miss the damp. And shut all the Chinese doctors down in the UK. They're like, I don't know what to do with you. You've you've got an area of the human body, psyche, and life that my system says you should be ill, but you seem to have all the energy in the planet rocking damp. Just the fire. That's what we spent £1 trillion on. Damp energy in the body is so it that basically we just spend £1 trillion on a fire, and that's all we need. Yes, what we do, we get a satellite internet connection, a solar panel. No, we don't get a solar panel. How are we going to get enough electricity in this country to run a laptop in our cave? So we can see our £1 trillion there in the bank gaining interest, and we just take it MFing slow, rocking out to damp and fire, and the physical body being strong enough to just, well, live, just live and not need anymore. And whenever we need any more, we've got our nuclear powered laptop. We went and installed a nuclear power plant, a mini nuclear power plant. Facebook facts again. There's mini nuclear power plants courtesy of Facebook, and we install a mini nuclear power plant, and it runs one laptop, satellite internet connection, and that's it. And we can see our bank balance. Oh, you say go mobile phone, get an app, and one of those wind up phone chargers. I see where you're coming from, and just do some damp exercise. Damp exercise. But the question is, when I'm doing that in this city, in London, in the UK, with all the sexy damp energy all around us, if I go to charge up my phone with one of those crank chargers, I might be charging 30 minutes. 30 minutes of just sitting here winding whilst I'm smoking or doing something on my computer. And well, let's pick up on damp energy. Let's pick up on damp energy. We're now in the cave and we need to just run a smartphone to check our bank balance and to place any orders to make our life better as we're going MFing slow. How long is it going to take us to charge up that phone in the damp and our fire and the rain outside? It's going to take a long time, innit? It's going to take a long time as we just, our minds become damp. Our minds become damp. Our minds become damp. And in that place, it's slow, no thinking. Slow, no thinking. We've become the elements, you know? We're like an animal when it comes to getting warmth. but the right warmth at the right time. We won't break the damp for warmth. No, it has to be certified warmth to the damp. I reckon that's how we become druids again. That's what the UK is famous for. Druids, 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 druids. Stonehenge, the Tor. It's like the mountain, not Tor. I don't know my superheroes. The one with the big hammer. No, it's a big small hill. It's a big small hill with a little building on top with no doors. Or is there doors that are open? And it looks like there was a fire in there at some point. Jesus was meant to have gone there. There's something to do with a hawthorn tree in this place. But druids, yeah, apparently they could fly. I went to see a Mayan elder and had the workshop in Glastonbury. So Glastonbury, where the festival is actually really, really sacred and spiritual because it's where the Tor is, the big small hill with the building with no doors or maybe doors on top and the fire and the hawthorn tree. And Glastonbury is really sacred that way. They've got loads of spiritual shops, health shops, alternative scene. And why we're talking about Stonehenge? Druids. So I went to see a Mayan elder. He came over from Guatemala and he gave a workshop and I attended it in Glastonbury. And I think it might have been the solstice, maybe not, maybe the solstice. Doesn't matter. We went up the Tor and we made a fire and we were at sunrise with this Mayan elder. And he said to us on top of the Tor, I see I see the waters rising again, and this piece of land will be surrounded by water. And I see druids basically surrounding us, flying around us. That was pretty cool, man. But I feel like I'm dumb saying it to camera. It's like it didn't exist. It didn't exist. Why? Because I just said the whole of the UK must be covered in water. How are we going to do damp energy? So yeah, conflicting stories, but never mind. Never mind. A damp energy, damp mindset, a damp mindset. Imagine it's just goddamn damp all the time and you can't breathe. It's so goddamn damp all the time. It's so goddamn damp. It doesn't matter if you got clothes on or off. You're just damp inside. And your bones have started to ache. And you've lived that life now for like, well, how old are you now? You were born and that's been your life ever since you were born. 24, you're 24 now. And your bones have ached, but you've got up every day and you've pushed on. And you don't listen to the ache because, god damn it, the damp is so addictive. But the ache is so real that you have to fight through. That we have to fight through. And at 24, what was once an ache is now a strength, like going to the gym. So it's almost like if you want to feel the superpower of damp energy, when it's damp next, feel the ache, Feel how your bones ache. And think about when you go to the gym and your muscles hurt after. Oh, we're doing Tao Te Ching today. Lao Tzu said in the Tao Te Ching, weaken their wills and strengthen their bones. If we want high level Taoist training now, we're going damp on them. Nowhere has damp in the world like the UK, maybe Ireland. Maybe Ireland trumps us, but the UK's pretty goddamn damp. We could go Taoist on them, just get. How are we going to do it? We'd have to own our own home, and then we make it into a cave, you know? We put rocks on the wall. On top of the wall, we put thin rocks that protrude and are like boulders. And we get a mist that releases air, and we have a thermostat that we set always to what creates the most damp temperature that makes our bones ache the most. How else are we setting the damp? We've got a small fireplace. We've got a fireplace within it. We've got a fireplace. The back doors have been broken off. The back doors are always open. And so are the windows. There's no windows and no doors. Sure, you want a laptop and a TV? You're allowed a laptop and a TV. How are we making the laptop and the TV? Train us. Well, what's the most damp thing except for rain? Except for rain. Soggy cardboard. Are we going for soggy cardboard? So what we're doing, we're going on YouTube and we're finding the most damp videos and putting them on repeat all day long. And in our damp cave with no windows, no doors, thermostat set to permanently bone ache. It's misty, it's water, there's vapor, it's not humid, it's probably going to lean on the side of cold, but to get the most damp, we have to go warm every so often just to make it even harder. You're allowed your laptop, your TV. How we sitting? What we sitting on that makes us more damp? Oh, it's probably going to be wet, isn't it? Make sure it's got water on there somehow. Just yeah, get the hose and soak down the material on the sofa. I reckon that's the quickest way back to Druid, man. Quickest way back to Druid. If you put yourself on that program, post a goddamn comment. I wanna know what happens as you go along. I've got other things to do. I'm in love with the cold. I'm gonna move country and find the cold. But a damp mindset, a damp mind all the time seems like, oh, but you know, what's the rush? Definitely in a few hundred years, few thousand years, I'll go and do the training. I'll do the training in a few 100,000 years. It's no rush. The cold isn't fast either. Pick that one up. Oh, this is damp. This is how to rock damp. And I'll know that for infinity. After the ice and the snow, what next? What other climates would I like to learn? low oxygen in the mountains. Low oxygen in the mountains and ice. I wouldn't mind just a bit of sun, a bit of rest and not training, but we're talking about training. Training in the sun doesn't appeal to me. I think that's where we might leave it for today. Have I missed anything? Have I missed anything today? Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. This webcam is amazing. I tried to make this on my iPhone and the color was so dark because there's no light in here again. And it looks like we've got studio lighting. You can see the back wall and everything clearly. And it's doing that thing, zooming in and out all of the time. I know that's annoying. I still have a removed prism lens. No rush. No rush.